Hello, hello, my greenskins. And today we will be talking about Lois and Clark Adventures with Superman. A great show. And what can I say about this? The show has a little bit of emotional energy with me, but not lots. It's kind of one of those situations where I didn't get to watch it much live, but through a girlfriend of mine, I got to watch. I used to watch. I got to watch the entire series, VHS. It was weird because I kind of watched it, didn't stopped watching it, did watch it, stopped watching it. Girlfriend watched it, and then kind of went back to it. So it's basically one of those things where it's kind of one of those weird things in my life that it's enjoying actually sitting down and watching. I hate to say it, if I had actually been able to sit down and watch it full season, I think I would have liked it a lot more. And I think it's an underestimated show. So let's break her down. So the actors for this are quite impressive, and we got quite a lineup of I think some of them are soap opera, if not all of them are soap opera. I vaguely think Dean Cain as Superman, and Jesus fuck, is he an amazing Superman? I would almost go as far as saying I think out of the live action modern Superman, I'm sorry Henry Cavill, I like you as an actor, he's far superior. Sorry. Terry Hatcher as Lois Lane. I like Lois Lane. I don't know. I'll get to it in story. I would. Kay Cullen as Martha Kent does a good job. Eddie Jones as Jonathan Kent. Well, it's Eddie Jones. He does an amazing work. Lane Smith as Perry White. Holy fuck, this guy's good. For season one, we have Michael Landis, which I was kind of surprised by. Plays Jimmy Olsen. A soap opera classic, which is Terry Chasey uh, Sawkins as Cat Grant. I know I've seen her in soap operas. John Sierra as Lex Luthor, amazing role. And then we have Lex Luthor's henchmen and 1 and henchmen 2, which I believe were Sean Taub as Asabi, which is kind of fun, and Eric Akerf as Mr. Moonhover. I think those are the two guys that are his henchmen. I might be wrong, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. And what can I say about the acting in this? It's really well done. It's so well done that it blends into what I'm going to be talking about next, which is the story. Which I hate to say it, the acting is very heavily part of that. Let's break her down. Story is kind of monster of the week, but that's not a bad thing. And I hate to say it due to the fact of the acting, especially the acting of the lead. The lead is amazing in this. Dean Cain is phenomenal. This show works really well and is actually quite fun to watch. And surprisingly, why I can't seem to find this through normal means other than using Apple TV, which God, I'm not spending $4 to rent this show. I refuse to get Apple TV unless it's absolutely necessary. And it works so freaking well. This show has some of the best acting and personality acting that just works. And mainly because of Dean Cain. Because for some reason, like, for one, he seems to, like, Superman is amazing in this. He does, like, there are moments in this, like, very first episode of Superman. Or, like, the pilot, the two-parter. There's a scene where he goes to fly away to go visit his parents, and this homeless man sees him. And he's still kind of hovering in the air, and he kind of does this tiptoe motion as he kind of tiptoes towards him as he's floating. Do you know what? That works. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. I don't know if it's like, hey, who was the flourish on that one? But that was phenomenal. That was so well freaking done. Like, I just remember seeing that. I just went, wow, that works. Like, I had a grin on my face when I saw that. And, you know, you're putting a big old smile on my face because of that. And it was so well done. And I had such a blast watching that it freaking worked. it really did work, and it worked so well that I was impressed by everything about that. And again, Terry Hatcher is kind of mediocre in this role, but this role, it works and it doesn't for her. But mind you, it's kind of 50-50 for her. It's like, how did this number one ace reporter not die? That's the best way to put it. Like, how is she not dead? And if it wasn't for Superman's meddling, I don't think it would work out for her too well. And the thing about her is, I like her and I don't like her as Lois Lane. Again, I have a special heart for OG Lois Lane and like the comics and the TV, like the anime TV show, but I also have love for, the classic Christopher Reeves Lois Lane. But she is good. They have moments where they do stuff that I kind of like. Like there's almost like a little bit of like how they talk to each other, how they associate with each other. It's really well done. How they kind of do certain things. And it has that will they, won't they vibe to it and energy. Now, at least for a first season, it works. The guy who plays, the head editor is really good. I like him. I like his smile. I like Kent Grant in this. Another main reason this show works like fucking amazing, is Lex Luthor. Lex, the actor who plays Lex Luthor, is so good and such a fucking bastard. It works. You like watching him. And in a way, you like watching him win, but you like watching him lose. He's such a prick. and that's a great way to deal with a character like that. He does such a good job. And like I said, it's the acting that does this show amazing. This show is Monster of the Week. Okay, they fight the Invisible Man one episode. Next episode, smart kids that are genetically altered and get super intelligent. Next episode, guys carrying flamethrowers. Next episode, this, that. It's always like next episode this, next episode that, next episode this. It kind of has that vibe. Now, there are some overarching stories that kind of work. Like I said, he does fight the Section 8 guys who want to get rid of Superman because he's an alien. They think he's an alien attack force. Like he's the Super Scout. And, that kind of works for a bit. It's kind of funny how the more I think about it, the My Adventures of Superman kind of takes a little bit of this show and adds bits and pieces to it. It's kind of interesting. Well, I know the comics do, but like it's kind of interesting that they did that. And it works. In a lot of episodes, it works. And they do have a lot of good, like I said, Dean Cain has so much chemistry and he's so fucking good in this. It works. The story's kind of mediocre-ish. Again, I know season 2 does some more like overarching story arcs, but this one kind of has and good all around. So let's get to the music. The music. Okay. Biggest problem with modern day music. Again, Canadian Canadian rock radio station for all their stuff. I'm sick of hearing, one over the ocean, and blah, 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 that stupid song. If I hear that song one more time, I'm going to throw something at my TV. Or, Don't Fear the Reaper. I've heard Don't Fear the Reaper so many bloody times. And I totally and utterly blame Supernatural for this. There's a reason why if I ever get this Patreon off the ground, that's my $100 thing. I will not watch that piece of crap show. I have vitriol hatred for Supernatural, mainly because they're one of the main reasons is they created that mentality. This show actually has a soundtrack. Not perfect, but at least it works, and it works for the show. They do a lot of old-timey stuff. They do a lot of like almost like aloof music. And it works for the campiness of the show, because this show is super campy. And it works for what you're watching. And like I said, the original music for it, that plays in my head before most other things. Like, I would actually say that plays in my head before I hear the animated Superman now. Like that has been stuck in my head. That do 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 do. That's still stuck in my head to this day. So even watching it now, I'm like, fuck, that's gonna be stuck in my head for the rest of my life, isn't it? Yes, yes, it is, and I'm okay with that. I'm happy about that. Works. Next will be the effects. I kind of wonder if they got a magician to do some of these effects. Like, seriously, like, I get that they really do give you that you believe a man can fly effects. And it really does work. In a lot of ways, I think it's well done. To the point where I remember thinking to myself, damn, they did a great job here with the effects. It's not perfect. Again, it's not going to look great. And there are some errors, and I've seen little side bits and pieces here. It's not perfectly cut, but it's done well enough that, like, you can see that it's speed lapsed. You can see that they times two this. You can see that they did this. You can see that they did that. Like, everything they do is kind of based off that premise, and it's nothing wrong with that in any way, shape, or form. For the time, I hate to say it, in some ways, I like these visual effects more than I like CG. But I'm not gonna lie, a show like Kamen Rider, which has like modern Kamen Rider, which has some of the most best effects on the fucking planet for visual effects and CG effects, I'm not gonna like. They're not Kamen Rider. Yeah, I fucking went there. The Japanese beat us, beat us down. Like, there's no modern superhero show I can think of that beats the classic Kamen Rider VRs, VRA. Like, they do the best visual effects out there. This show does the best visual effects that we saw for the time. It also does, like, it doesn't do CG that well. And again, you do get like some green screen stuff. It's not perfect, but again, due to the acting, it works. This, I wish more shows did the visual effects a little better than, like, it's the reason I love I have a little bit of a love relationship with Preacher, because a lot of Preacher stuff are hardcore of like physical fights. Like, it looks nasty in a lot of ways, and it looks kind of brutal when you see him beating the crap out of people. Reacher works for that. And yeah, no, I'm all in for that, for visual effects. Next will be our rating. So, this show, how do I put it? I love this show now. Adventure of the Superman, at least Lois and Clark Superman, is, I will say, the best modern Superman so far. I've heard I can't remember season 2 and 3 for the life of me. It's been forever since I've watched it. So I would have to say probably, maybe like, if you were just to watch season 1, it's good. I'm not too sure how I feel about with season 2 and 3. I'm kind of fascinated by that. And I'm not sure if I can get away. I don't know, like I said, I've heard it drags. In later seasons, it really drags, apparently. But I'm hopeful. So I'm going to give it about a 7. It's a solid 7 right now. I might, subject to change, I might change it overall. But a solid start to a solid series. All depends if I continue. If this picks up steam and actually people want to see more, leave your comment. Tell me if you want to know about the other seasons. It's a little bit of a bastard to find, I think. I think in America you can watch it. In certain places you can watch it on Tubi, and other places you can't. But I think it works. Now, I'll give my final thoughts of Dean Cain as Superman as a whole. I'm trying to keep my videos under 20 minutes, so we'll see how this goes. Best modern day Superman. Sorry, Henry. I said it once, I say it again. No one else has topped him yet. I think he is one of the best. I think, honestly, if someone goes to play Superman, if you're not calling this guy up and going, hey, can I get Dean Cain's number? Like, how did you portray Superman? How did you feel about Superman? Like, what was your aspect? He should be the one people call. I hate to say it. This is how much I think he did Superman right in a lot of ways. He should be fucking anybody who works on Superman should be consulting with Dean before they write Superman. Seriously, I actually believe this now. At least at this moment. And I've heard that the series, he only gets better as time goes on. He only gets more enjoyable as time goes on. And we don't need a mopey Superman. I might do a continuation because I want to try to keep these videos short, a little shorter, cut down the slack. I'm going to say I'll do a continuation on Superman and how I feel about modern day Superman. Maybe I'll do that. And leave a comment if you want to see a short video on me talking about how I feel about modern day Superman. All right, thank you everybody for listening. Have a very good night, and I'll see you next time on Orc War Chief Reviews.